The following program is an AI-generated voice-over YouTube parody series. The Dale-yShow is a work of satire featuring fictional comedy sketches, jokes, commentary, and roasts inspired by internet personalities and online culture. Nothing presented in this show should be interpreted as factual statements or taken seriously. The purpose of this series is entertainment, parody, and comedic expression. Now, with that out of the way, please lower your expectations and enjoy the Dale-yShow.
Dale. Dale. D-A-L-E Dale. D-A-L-E Dale. 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 Dale.
Hello and good day, YouTube watcher. Welcome back to The Daily Show, the only AI-generated late-night parody show whose first episode performed so modestly that YouTube looked at the analytics and politely asked, "Are you sure this wasn't uploaded by accident?" Now, before we begin, I'd like to thank everyone who watched the pilot episode, several of you who actually took 7.5 minutes of your time watching and or listening to whatever this is. Seriously, I really do appreciate it. I even asked you wonderful people to leave comments, suggestions, criticisms, or just tell me if the audio sounded like two microwaves arguing in a Walmart parking lot. And I specifically hoped that one legendary individual would appear in the comments and type the immortal phrase, "LowTierGod speaks the truth." You know, that guy. Every troll channel has one. It doesn't matter if the video is about cooking pasta or the weather or the mating habits of penguins. And somehow, LowTierGod speaks the truth. It's practically an endangered species of YouTube commenter. Yet somehow, I got nothing. Not one. Honestly, I'm a little disappointed. Not because I wanted to argue with that particular individual. I just wanted to know the ecosystem was still healthy. Instead, my comment section was so empty it looked like a blockbuster parking lot in 2026. And the views? Let's just say they haven't exactly required scientific notation yet, but that's okay, because I'm not trying to become the next massive YouTube sensation. I'm not chasing millions of subscribers. I'm not trying to overthrow the algorithm. I certainly don't expect YouTube headquarters to stop everything and declare, "Ladies and gentlemen, we've found him." The guy making AI news reports about LowTierGod. That would be ridiculous. This channel exists because I thought it'd be funny to parody the style of a late-night comedy news show. Except instead of discussing Congress, billionaires, or international politics, we're discussing a man who has somehow managed to turn every fighting game into an existential crisis. That's the niche. And yes, it is a very niche. If you're looking for daily uploads, live stream reactions, clip compilations, or years of documented history, there are creators who've been covering this corner of YouTube far longer than I have. Channels like King of Rogs, Optics, LG, JVex, and many others have built extensive libraries documenting the endless saga. If you're interested in broader coverage, deeper archives, heavy trolling, or more frequent commentary, they're all well worth checking out. I happen to be a huge fan of those channels myself. So please, give them all a like and hit their subscribe button for their respective channels. This show isn't trying to replace any of them. It's simply doing something different. Think of it as, what if a late-night desk show hired artificial intelligence, gave it too much coffee, and told it to analyze internet law? That's basically the business model. Now, because this is the internet, and because someone somewhere will inevitably take satire more seriously than the thing being satirized, let me make something crystal clear. Everything on this show is AI generated. The voices, the presentation, the graphics, the overall style. It's intentionally exaggerated for comedic effect. When I talk about LowTierGod, also known as Dale Emmanuel Wilson, I'm expressing my own opinions and commenting on things he has publicly said or done over the years. The show is a satirical look at his online persona and publicly available content, not a claim that my perspective is the only correct one. This isn't journalism. This isn't a court proceeding. This isn't a psychological evaluation. It's comedy. If you've somehow wandered in expecting an unbiased documentary, you've taken a very wrong turn, so please, don't take any of this too seriously. Laugh if it's funny. Disagree if you want. Leave suggestions if you have them. And if this strange little AI-generated parody of a late-night show isn't your thing, that's perfectly fine too. Now, with the disclaimers finally out of the way, let's discuss the internet's most consistent supplier of confidence exceeding available evidence, because somehow we're only on episode 2, and we've already got plenty to talk about. So let's get into talking about LowTierGod, a man who approaches online gaming the way medieval villagers approached eclipses, with fear, confusion, and the firm belief that someone, somewhere, is personally targeting him with dark magic. Because if you've managed to watch even 5 minutes of his streams, you'll notice a recurring theme. Not consistency, not improvement, certainly not accountability, but paranoia. Specifically, the belief that at any given moment, an army of elite, hyper-coordinated, possibly CIA-trained individuals are 1. Watching his Twitch stream, 2. Queuing into the exact same ranked match, 3. Tracking his every move in real time, and 4. All just to, according to him, beat him in a video game. Which, when you say it out loud, sounds less like a gaming issue and more like the plot of a rejected Jason Bourne sequel. Bourne Identity 5. Oh my God, he picked Ken again. And he wants you all to believe that no matter which game it is, he is a victim of being stream-sniped. Now, stream-sniping does exist. It's a real thing. There are well-known streamers across Twitch and other streaming platforms that does, every once in a while, become victims of being stream-sniped. I'm pretty sure Hungrybox, Alpharad, Maximilian and a few others got stream-sniped. But in LowTierGod's world, it's not occasional. It's constant, relentless, and apparently universal. He loses one round. Stream Sniper. He or his opponent drop a combo. Stream Sniper. His opponent blocks his wake-up super for the 14th time in a row. Definitely stream sniping. At this point, if someone beats him in Tetris, he'd accuse them of hacking the game's gravity. Which is funny in of itself because, and this is true, he has accused of being stream sniped in fucking Tetris. And here's the thing, the logic doesn't hold up for him either. Because for his theory to be true, it would require hundreds, if not thousands, of players across games like Street Fighter VI, Tekken 8, Mortal Kombat 1, just to name a few fighting games he's known to played before he deletes it for the millionth time on stream, to be, watching his stream, timing matchmaking perfectly, and coordinating like it's a military operation, which would make LowTierGod not a streamer, but the final boss of an international esports conspiracy. But wait, it gets better, because nothing, and I do mean nothing, is more telling than his signature move, best known as the cam-off mic muted maneuver. And when does this happen, you may ask? Not when he's winning, not when he's dominating. No, 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 no. It happens right before a tough match, midway through getting outplayed, or immediately after losing the entire set, because apparently the best way to combat stream snipers is to turn into a witness protection program participant. Ah, yes, they can't track me now. I've gone dark. I am invisible. Sir, you are not evading enemy surveillance. You're avoiding eye contact with your own chat. It's like watching someone unplug their smoke alarm because they don't like the sound of the fire. And then, of course, come the insults. Because what's a Dale stream without them? It would be like watching a roller coaster that never leaves the station. You keep waiting for the big moment. Every opponent, according to him, are either worthless, a bum, trash, a garbage player, or my personal favourite, black. Which is fascinating, because statistically speaking, if every single opponent you lose to is trash, what does that make you? Because at some point, calling everyone else garbage starts to feel less like confidence and more like a man yelling at his reflection in a broken mirror. Also, imagine the contradiction. These players are garbage, but also skilled enough to orchestrate a coordinated espionage campaign against me. So which is it? Are they incompetent, or are they the Avengers? But perhaps the most astonishing belief of all is this, that companies like Capcom, Bandai Namco and NetherRealm Studios should be paying him millions to stream their games. Yes, millions, because nothing sells a game quite like rage-quitting, calling the player base trash, uninstalling the game midstream, then reinstalling it 12 hours later like a toxic ex texting, "You up?" That's not marketing. That's a live demonstration of emotional instability with DLC support. Imagine being in a boardroom at Capcom. All right, team, how do we boost Street Fighter 6 sales? Well, there's a streamer who actively tells people the game is bad, the players are trash, and the mechanics are fake. Perfect. Give him a check immediately. Here's the uncomfortable truth. What looks like stream-sniping paranoia is often just a refusal to accept a very simple reality that other people are just better sometimes. And instead of Dale adapting, learning, or improving, we get excuses, conspiracies. And the gaming equivalent of flipping the Monopoly board and claiming the dice were rigged, because it's easier to believe in a grand coordinated attack than to admit, yeah, I got outplayed. So where does that leave us? With a streamer who thinks every loss is sabotage, every opponent is both terrible and secretly elite. And every gaming company owes him money for the privilege of being yelled at, which isn't just irony. It's like I said in the first episode, it's performance art. Because at this point, LowTierGod, you know what? Fuck that. This is The Daily Show. Dale Emmanuel Wilson isn't just playing fighting games. He is the boss fight. Not because he's unbeatable, but because no matter what you do, he will always have another phase, another excuse, and inevitably another moment where the camera goes off and the microphone goes silent, and somewhere deep down, you can almost hear the faint whisper of Dale's accountability getting completely muted. Thank you for watching. That's the show. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.